Okay, so here's my reverser case. The transmission will come in through here and do this and then out to the transfer case, which is about here. There'll be a prop shaft, more like back here, because who knows how big this hydraulic motor will be. But the drive shaft will come all the way back, and then I'll have the transfer case back here, which will then go to the axles, obviously, and that'll come out here. This shaft is for the hydraulic motor. Now have that flanged with this big old flange right here, which sides onto those shafts. I got 3 of these flanges, so I can flange drive that right to the hydraulic motor, and there you go. But what will happen is when you're in drive, this is turning clockwise. So this is turning clockwise. Right? Yeah, this is turning clockwise. This is obviously turning counterclockwise. Alright? The motor's doing nothing, because I would have 4 valves in the back. I'll draw you a little picture. But when I open, and 2 accumulators, when I open a valve, the thing will be spinning, and that'll pull fluid from one, run it through the pump, and pressurize the other. And because this is 0.75 to 1, that means this is 1 to 1.5. So this is turning 1.5 times what will be the input is coming off the rear drive shaft. So that rear drive shaft, that force of the rear drive shaft will turn this, which will be multiplied, which will turn that power through the pump, which will pressurize my accumulator tank until a point where, and also give me engine braking, up to a point where it will hit a limit of, let's just say 6,000 psi. It'll hit a limit, and then from then any other pressure will go to back to the reservoir tank, you know. But then that tank will be fully pressurized at 6,000 psi. Okay, and then, you know, braking ends. You know, I get to the light or whatever. I don't need braking anymore. This thing's still spinning, but that's done. I close this valve because there's no reason to keep pressurizing something if it's just going to thing. Maybe I'll have someone do it for me, but you know, I'll close the valve. All right, keep driving, no big deal, or whatever. When I go to take off, the thing will I'll shut this valve and open up another valve, and what that valve is going to do is move pressure from this tank. I'll open up the valve and it'll allow it to move off here into the other tank that I pulled from previously. And what that's going to do is, instead of this thing, I'm going to have it come around here. Instead of this thing being forced, it is now turned, and that's turned, and this one, this 6,000 psi is ran through the pump, which assists in turning this and turning that. The good point of this over electric is now I can use, I could put it in neutral and power it, which is probably the best, or I can use it to assist in the drive of the motor. And I feel that assist will give me a nice little boost in acceleration. Yeah, here's my reverser case. It's all dusty and dirty, and yeah, big old flanges. And I'll draw you another picture of what I have in mind for the motor, what motor I want to use. And I'm open to other motors, but I gotta find a hydraulic motor to run this thing. That's where I'm at right now. And obviously got to divorce the transfer case, a whole bunch of other stuff, so I can put this little puppy in. And yeah, it's just gonna go flange right transmission, boom, flange right to the back of that. Because this thing, there's no need. I need to run a little pump. I need to run a pump here that sprays the gears. And then output here, that's just going to go to a cooler. And basically, it just all it does is spray the gears and go down. And obviously, that's a vent because it's marked vent. But yeah, pretty simple. And all it is 2 big old spur gears. That's my reversal case. And I need to, yeah, I got to find a big old hydraulic pump because this little plastic thing ain't going to work. All right, there's a rough breakdown.